presentation for you today is helping business owners see how they can work more nimbly as a small firm, that even though you are small, you have tremendous opportunity to be big. And we're going to talk about how do small companies get big. Is anyone interested in that today? Okay, great. So just to get started, I'm going to be weaving in and out from business websites and different online resources, but I pulled up TED.com, which is the technology, entertainment, and design website that has a tremendous wealth of resources for business owners to learn about what's taking place in the market. And that's one of the first places that we talk about what is happening in the market. And what's clear is that companies that do not have an online strategy at this day and age don't have a business strategy. So it's critical for you to be in this room, to be in this space, to start thinking critically about how I'm going to leverage the web. It's ubiquitous, it's not going anywhere. In fact, it will quickly swallow you up and pass you by. That said, there's a video that I made favorite of a gentleman named Kevin Kelly who talks about the first 5,000 days of the web. And it is a tremendously sobering video which talks about how the web itself has become ultimately this living machine. Ultimately, the web, there are more pages on the web than there are synapses in the human brain. Now, you're talking about hundreds of millions of connections. And the idea is that information is moving more rapidly than ever before. And your customers, the challenges that it presents to you as a small business owner, is that your customers are likewise moving more rapidly than ever before. Therefore, it is critically important for you to start thinking about how do I manage the demands of an on-demand customer? I'm a small company, I don't have a lot of capacity, but how do I meet the demands of my customers who are empowered by the web, as we are, to seek out information, look for new deals, discover. I think that Google just had a great video commercial about Search On. Anyone saw that? How their search engine has inspired all of this innovation in the marketplace. So,
Search On?
Search On, that's the commercial that they recently launched. Fairly interesting. So the idea here is to kind of focus on what we can do, what type of practical IT strategies can we employ in our business in order to accelerate growth. And that's really, again, the focus on a small company getting big. When I do my trainings, I'm often working with startup companies and early stage companies. And the biggest challenge that they have is not being able to identify what it is that they want to sell. They oftentimes know how they want to sell it. They just don't necessarily know what are the first steps. I like to, there's no perfect plan, there's no scripted plan as to how someone can start a business. I started one getting my pink slip, so you can't say that you can script it any better than that, right? But basically, we're talking about design. There's a book by Michael Gerber who wrote The E-Myth, and he coined this most famous phrase, which is, entrepreneurs in this day and age are better served working on their business rather than in it. And what he's talking about how to design a company that is sustainable, one that can grow, one that can meet the demands of competition, and one that can serve customers better. What he's ultimately talking about is design, operational design. And one of the key limitations to operational design is, I don't have any money. That's the biggest challenge, right? There's things that we want to do, we want to market, we want to do SEO, but I don't have any money. So how do I, as a small firm, reach more customers? Because the fundamental business equation is more customers equals more sales equals more profits, right? So we have to figure out how do I accelerate that equation to my advantage. So when we're talking about operational design, we're talking about the acquisition, integration, and management of key business products, tools, and systems that improve a firm's competitive advantage. As I mentioned before, I like the David and Goliath scenario. How many of you have experienced really good customer service from large companies lately? Wow, don't overwhelm me. Okay, not many. And that's really the truth of the matter, is that even though you're a small firm, you have tremendous and unique advantages that big companies don't have. You have the ability to touch your customer in ways that they can't. So that is a competitive advantage. The issue for you is, how do I expand and build on that competitive advantage so that I can serve more customers, almost steal customers, and win more business for my company. So we're talking about, how do I acquire, integrate, and manage key business tools. Now, normally, Fortune 500 companies spend a lot of money on management, and they tend to throw a lot of money on it. You can't risk that, can you? You don't have a lot of money to throw at an idea. You have to get something practical. So thankfully, the web has offered all of these free tools that are available to you as long as you take the time to learn how to use them and how to take advantage of them. The benefits of savvy operational design can allow small firms with less capacity to improve their efficiency in the following areas. Again, small companies, your biggest area of working well or getting more customers is serve the customers better, faster, and more efficiently than your bigger customers. That's really what you're going to have to do. Managing customers helps you build a brand. It helps you expand market share, okay? And it's often the most fundamental of how we do business, but we tend to kind of sweep it under the table. Oh, deal with customers. No, really, the more you are dealing with customers and you're more responsive and you can meet their needs more efficiently, the better they will actually go out and sell for you. That said, we're talking about the web. So we're leveraging the machine that keeps learning and growing. The web continues to learn and grow at an exponential rate. Web 2.0 is talking about, you've heard those terms before, it's talking about versions of the web or the introduction of new technologies that allow the end user more to be empowered in greater ways. I'll give an example. Mark Zuckerberg at his F8 conference, this was actually not this year, but previous year, mentioned that he wanted to make every website on the web social. Anyone seen how he accomplished that? Anyone knows how he accomplished that? Through Facebook, right? But how does he do it? How does he make every website on the web more social? You've got the like button. We've seen the Facebook Connect. Every website now has a follow us button. Follow me and know where you follow them too. But it's got that, right? And the idea is that the web continues to grow and expand on ways that we connect with customers. We're talking about, how do we connect with customers in a way that works to our advantage as a small firm, right? So we're simply approximating what we would do in a natural world, right? You shake someone's hand, you give them a business card, they like you, like your face, I give you a call, okay? And that kind of works like that. But in the online space, we've got to like people, right? We're approximating that natural connection to people. So we're talking about how the web continues to enhance your ability to be creative, your ability to share information, and your ability to collaborate like a big firm. So Web 2.0 talks also about that social element, which I think I also do a social media workshop, and it's transformational because companies don't realize that social media is a component of managing your customers. You just have to manage it, right? So we'll talk about that. All right, so here's that machine that continues to grow. Google is at the forefront of leveraging what we talk about online technology innovations. And what they're doing, even though many believe they're violating antitrust laws, what they're really doing is continuing to innovate, and they're putting tremendous pressure on the marketplace. When Google releases a set of tools that are free, whereas maybe 10 to 15 years ago, a company might have been able to monetize at $30,000 per company, they are literally disrupting the marketplace. Here's how this works. I encourage you to go to YouTube and look up Eric Schmidt. Anyone know who Eric Schmidt is? He's the former CEO of Google, okay? And you're gonna type in these keywords, Eric Schmidt, intellectual property, okay? There's a brief video that gives you a profound insight as to how the web has changed the way we do business. He makes a very offhanded, almost kind of casual statement in that video, but it's profound. He talks about what is happening in the music industry, or what happened in the music industry with iTunes. Anyone? iPod? I'm gonna get you guys up to speed. iTunes, iPod, MP3. Okay, good. So we're all talking the same language, right? All right. So he talked about the fact that that industry had tremendous challenges because what they wanted to do, in essence, was monetize a piece of intellectual property, the song, right, which is their intellectual property, at $1 million. Okay? They wanted to sign a deal, get distribution with that one song at $1 million. That was normally how the market was structured. But what he talked about is, he said, well, our approach, and what was iTunes' approach, was that instead of monetizing one piece of intellectual property at $1 million, what we'll do is we'll find 1 million customers that are willing to pay $1 and change the entire model altogether.